Okay, hey guys, so what I wanted to do today is kind of update my school supply haul video and just go through, now that I've done 1L, what actually worked and what I do recommend for 1L. Okay, so the first thing I recommended was note cards, and I still really think that if you can study by note cards, this is great. The only update I have to that is that I found these color-coded note cards, which were really cool just to help organize my studying. So I thought those were pretty cool. The other thing I talked about were Sharpie pens, and even though I still love them, they didn't work out too well for me just because so many textbooks have glossy paper. So I actually bought the Pilot Easy Touch pens, and I bought them fine point, so it was really, really easy to write in the margins. And that was just, it was just a lot better on that paper because this isn't like the kind of ink that smears. That's the word, smears. I never remember it. The other thing is I originally recommended several notebooks, like one for every class. I didn't like that because I kept forgetting a notebook, and because there was a notebook in my bag, I assumed it was the right one. Bad assumption, but whatever. So I actually moved to a 5-subject notebook because I had 4 classes. So then even if I was running out of paper, I still had that last section, which I always tapped into. This semester I actually have 7 classes, so I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I do recommend the less notebooks, the better. And then I also talked about the Sharpie highlighters. I was gonna say Sharpie highlighter pens, but the Sharpie highlighters. I really like these. I still like these. The only thing is, again, with that glossy paper, you just have to be careful how you're highlighting. But I tried tons of other highlighters and nothing really worked. So I still stand by these. I like the clear view on it because you can kind of see where you're going. So that works for me. A new thing I want to recommend though are flags. So I use these a lot. I use the small ones and even the big ones, but mostly the small ones to mark like review questions that my professor says are a good idea, or readings and stuff like that, just so that I know what's coming up. And I'll show you an example. This book has all these flags in it still. They were review question pages, and then the colored one, the yellow ones are review question pages, and then the colored ones are readings that we had due that I just haven't taken out yet. And so it was just really easy to open my book to the right color flag and just go to it and be done with that. It's really easy to get lost in these books, so it's just a fun way to stay organized. The other thing, new thing I want to recommend is these tabs. So these you can write on both sides, and again, so good for organization. So let me show you. So I also recommended binders, and I 100% stand by that. I actually switched out from the binders that I bought to the Avery Easy Touch binders just because they're less noisy when you're opening them in class. So the first thing is these tabs are so great for organization. So like here I made a like table of contents for my research, and I've edited my citations and stuff, but I also have it all tabbed, so it's so easy to just go find the right page. And the other thing is, since you can write on both sides, I went ahead and wrote the number on both sides of the tabs so that no matter where I was, I could get back to whatever tab I was using. So it's just really, really helpful to stay organized, especially in classes where you're doing a lot of research and stuff. And if you're like me and you like to have it printed out, this is just a nice way to keep it all together. The other reason to get a binder is because of this big thing right here. So this is my constitutional law textbook. It is nearly 2,000 pages. And our teacher actually told us, hey, it's in loose leaf if you guys want to get that. And I really did not want to carry this as one single textbook, like a bound textbook, because it would just be crazy. So I bought, again, an Avery Easy Touch, put it in there, and I can take exactly the amount of pages I need with me in my binder to class, and not have to worry about a really big heavy textbook to carry or anything like that. So it's not available for all textbooks, but this one was, and I really, really appreciated that. So if you like that option, if you have that option, this is a really good way to get around carrying really, really heavy books all year. Okay, so the last 3 things I would recommend. Number 1, a mouse. Sometimes it's just nice to give your wrist a break from your laptop mouse. A little bit easier to use one of these. Number 2 is a really good heavy duty book stand. So it's actually a recipe book stand, so that it's thicker, and it has these to keep your pages, and it has a lot of different positions where it can tilt so that it's best for your neck and the size of your textbook. So it's really, really helpful, especially when your neck is just tired of looking down. And the last thing would be a monitor. So if you really need a second screen, if you really need a bigger screen than your laptop, I have a 13-inch, and so sometimes I just need a bigger screen. Or if you really like a desktop, because sometimes I do too, go ahead and just invest in a monitor. It doesn't have to be super expensive. I think we got this one for about 60 bucks on Prime Day. I think I've seen them as low as $80. So, you know, it's a good way to do it, and you just don't need the expense of a desktop on top of your laptop. What you're really going to be using is your laptop. So that would be my best advice in that front. Okay, so those are all my recommendations. That's what I use pretty steadily all throughout my 1L year. And I will actually attach as many links as I can find below if you guys want to buy some of these things. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it's helpful, and I'll see you next time.